Hello, team. Bombers cannot target buildings of your opponent. Unlike strikers, interceptors, helicopters, and transport planes, bombers are unable to use the target command. You can see that if we tried to click on it, the bomber thing is actually grayed out. They can't be the receiver of a target command. So let's say that we want to destroy this refinery. You can scout for air defenses at first. This trick we are going to bring up with using a move command and bombers to target a specific building has been mentioned by Valthor on Ladder, aka the Solstice in Twitch chat. Other folks as well have come up with, talked about this in the Discord as a little bit of a trick, but it's not really all that well known. So if we go right towards the refinery, we're going to notice that there's two dug in lines of SAMs here. So if the bombers were just to hit a dot command on this, they would fly over these SAMs and take a bunch of damage. Same thing with a line command if they go right towards it. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up bombers as the receiver to the command. We're going to do a move command, so the blue one, S on your keyboard. And we have the range. If we press tab, it'll show the range of the airports and the airstrips, red being the range of the bombers. So let's go around the back with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to start this blue line command at a entry that will avoid all the SAMs as the bombers come in. And then what we want to do is we want to go directly over this refinery. That's the important part. We want to give enough space for the bombers to be able to reload, so to speak, and then drop their next round of bombs. So let's make sure this is like relatively large. You can play around with this to see how tight you can make this line. And then we go through the building that we're targeting again. So it's kind of like a figure eight sort of thing. Just make sure that both lines, on both go over the building specifically. You can see, right? So we can make this tighter with strikers since they fire quicker. But with bombers, you want to make it a little bit of a larger loop. So the bombers are going to go to the beginning of this line command over the right-hand side. And so they're not going to go over these SAMs. We can speed up this line command if we want by pressing S again, and then you see the haste move. We can always change this to be an attack move if we want. But the way this works is that bombers on a blue command, just like any plane on a blue command, it will not focus on any other units unless they're directly in this path. And so this is the trick, is that this building is directly in this blue path, so the bombers will attack it. They're not going to proc to destroy these tanks. If there were SAMs around, they're not going to fly off course and start trying to hit the SAMs. And you'll notice this next bomber puts its wings open and it hits this refinery again. Same thing with this next one. And all of the other bombers would do the same thing. If we want to make sure that the bombers don't take it's damage from the SAMs on the way home, we have to wait until they're kind of near the end. This is why the exit line that you decide to make and how far out it goes is relatively important, so that when we delete this thing, maybe we should have made it a little bit further up to the north so that they don't even have to do this, but you get the idea. Entry path is important to make sure that you dodge all the planes, and then wherever you make that exit line. So if we were to do the same thing for the factory, we don't want to hit these SAMs, we could do the same sort of deal. Let's go in this way, come through, loop around. It's probably way too big of a loop, but let's make sure that the exit line this time is far enough. Like I said, try it out. Experiment with how big you need to make this loop on the other side of it. You can use this same trick with strikers if you want to target a building, but you don't want the planes to go directly from the airport to the building. You want them to take a smarter approach and a smarter exit. You can save a lot of planes like this. Test it out. And of course, if you get here and you notice that you want the bombers to not actually focus only on this building, and instead you want them to attack around with all the units that they see, then at any point you could turn this to an attack move. And you'll notice at this point the bombers veer off and they go towards all these tanks and such. And if you move it back to a move command, they should slowly go back to this pre-planned flight path. You know what I mean? Anyway, try it out, see what works. Good game. Peace.